And we're live. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome back to the show. This is Farmers in Finance. I am Rico, your host. And once again, poor Gara couldn't make it this week. He is busy, as we all know. He's got a farm, he's got a financial business, he's got uh, Airbnb business, and much more. So he's a pretty busy guy, but hopefully we'll have him on the show next week. Today's show, welcome. This is episode 18, and thank you for watching. If you tuned in last week, we had episode 17, and it was about planning and the importance of it. And we just stroked against the topic of wills, legacy, and I did promise that I'm going to be planting 2 million trees in my lifetime. So I better get started. I don't even know how many trees that a day of what I have left. I will for sure. This show today, what are we gonna have? We're gonna have oh before some housekeeping. That's right. Thank you for coming. And I invite all comments. All comments are accepted. It makes the show more interactive, and we can actually talk to each other. And if you have any questions about the show or about the comments or what's said or any insight that you have as well, more than happy to share. We're always learning. We're always on a path of making important decisions in our life, and so I'm here to help you make those decisions from what I have experienced in my life. A little bit about myself. If you don't know, if you're new to the show, or you're watching this at a later date. I'm a realtor right now, and I'm also in financial planning. I work with a company named Experience Financial. We DXP Realty, so we're innovative. I love technology. I love AI, and I love what's happening. But I was also a former farmer. That hence the name Farmers in Finance. And having said that, I know how many struggles the farmers go through in life to make it there. I am formally a farmer, but still, that seed is not, you can never eradicate. It's still growing, and it's still a pleasure to be helping and communicating with other farmers, going to farmers markets, and be like sort of promotional and helping out other people, right? So I would like to know, where are you watching from this morning, and if you watch this later, just let me know in the comments. We're airing on YouTube, LinkedIn Live, and also we're on Facebook. So, anyways, you can reach me. You can reach me there. I can leave my phone number here if you have any questions about, like if you need more advice and you're feeling a little shy to come on the show. That's not a problem. You can reach me and message me. Anyways, I'm all over social media. My name is not hard to find. It's Ricardo Manazza. So I'm probably the only one in the world. So I'm sure that you can find me on a Google search. Anyways, so this today's show is all about RRSPs. RRSPs explained. Why do they exist? Where they came from, and what people don't know about them. I mean, I'm sure you might know about them, and it's one of those things that somebody tells you, "Hey, oh yeah, I know that. I know that." But it's always a good thing to be reminded. Especially, I speak from experience. When I was in constructions back in my 20s, they always I always didn't like. It was kind of like, you must do this. You go to the accountant, you know what I mean? And then they tell you, oh, this is your RSP. And obviously, this is RSP season. If there is a season for paying taxes, this is the season to be jolly. And until February 28th, that's when we get the cutoff. And we should be considering how much to invest and how much money we're going to get back from the government. Ooh, that's so exciting. It's like, but uh, to continue, I'll share a little bit of a story of how I use them and how I recommend other people to use them that you might know or you might not know. But it's good to have a little bit of a resource on how to navigate with what you have and what these tools offer. Right, knowledge is power. And having said that, have you ever had your RSP explained in plain language? Oh, good morning, sir. Thank you. Oh, from Toronto. Oh, welcome. Wow, this is so cool. I see it. I told you, I love technology. I'm talking to someone in Toronto. That's awesome. Oh, well, thank you for being on the show there, LinkedIn user. So let's go into the quote of the day because this is so powerful and ties all well in. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Isn't that so fond? I love this quote. I mean, investing in your knowledge is probably the most important thing that you have in life because it helps you understand what you're going through, and it takes away the fears that you have about anything. Like, I mean, I wear many hats in my life, and one of the things was when I started. Let's go back to farming. When I started farming, I didn't know anything. Well, I had a little bit of, a background because being Italian and all, I used to love planting tomatoes. Tomatoes were my favorite plant. They were my favorite fruit. It had such an abundance. They were a reflection of abundance, right? So then when I was planting, I started, like learning more because there was an interest, right? It's like, oh, how can I plant this? So my next vegetables was zucchini. I mean, anybody out there that has planted a zucchini plant knows what I'm talking about. That's another abundant plant. But then you also look at all the other plants, they're pretty abundant. Just some of them might need a little bit more work, like, for example, peas. We go and buy the peas and they're all in a package. And then all of a sudden, you have to, when you get them off the plant, they're in a pod and you got to get them out. So it takes a little bit more work and it surprises you as well. So going back to our quote, it's what I want you to understand is like that having the knowledge in this life is so important. I never stop. I don't know about you, but I never want to stop understanding what I'm going through and having the knowledge of what I'm doing. So, like when I started the real estate, for example, 3 years ago, I researched, I asked questions. I just wanted to know what I was getting involved to because at that time I had a different perception of what a realtor was doing. And now that I went through the struggles and the understanding and the approaching and talking to people and the conversation, I'm just like a total different person. And all that came to the eagerness to understand and have and require knowledge. So this ties it all back as one of my question is to the audience and whoever's watching here now or in the future. Um, what was one piece of financial knowledge? Let's keep it to financial that you wish you learned earlier. Because there's got to be that one thing. Because for myself, I feel like the infinite banking concept. When I learned that, I wish, and this ties back to last week as well. I wish I had learned before because it would have made my life a lot easier and simpler, and I would have, not as struggled as much. But I guess sometimes the struggles is what you need to go through, right? Just like a plant. And this ties back to last week's quote about planting trees. And the best time was 20 years ago, and the other best time, the second best time is now. So let's go back to that. So let's get back into it, and let's talk about why RSPs exist. Okay, so they came from a problem, and the problem was that government had just a worry. Guess what? Even government worries. And the fact that the government worried, what was their worry? The worry was that people weren't saving enough for their future. And when they came to retirement and the force, like they had lesser force and they couldn't do their jobs as fast or as quickly or as proficient, then they would have to retire. And then who would have bear that pressure? Oh, the government. So they created this so-called registered retirement savings plan. So they put a nice, fantastic word, and they created this product, which was an incentive-based tool. So it gave you an incentive to sign up for it, and then it gave you a predictability. Oh my God, I can't even pronounce that word. Of what your retirement would look like. So they said, you start savings, we'll give you something here now, and then in the future, look at you. You're going to have some money, and you're not going to rely so much on our help. And so the RRSP was created. So what, how people use it, that's a different product. I mean, understanding, and you have to understand that there can be many uses for it, and you gotta properly use them too. Oh, I'm glad you liked the quote. Sorry, there was another comment here. Great quote, thank you. Yes, I do believe that. It's a oh, that was Benjamin Franklin, by the way, that made that quote. So RSPs weren't perfectly designed. They were designed to be predictable. So you have an income now, you save up a little bit of that income, you put it away, you guess you don't pay taxes, and then all of a sudden you oh, I got a little bit of a nice slideshow too. So do you think RSPs were built more for individual freedom or system stability? That's my question for you in this section. So let's move on to the part of contributions and deductions. Okay, so there is the two parts components of an RSPs. You can make contributions, and this is based on your past income. So the government takes the maximum contribution that you can do is 18% of your past year's contribution. So that doesn't mean that you can deduct that right away. Saying this is kind of like the analogy of the farmer, is that when you are contributing, obviously you're lowering your tax bracket, so you're creating this savings, but at the same time, you don't have to deduct it from your current year. So, for example, if you have an income of 60,000, you break the bracket of 40%, and after 40%, you want to deduce, bring it back down to 45,000. So you are going to invest 15,000 into your RSP. Having that difference is not that you have to deduce it right now. I mean, you could deduce more or less. You have that choice. So there takes two choices. You have two choices, right? You have the choice to contribute and have a contribution, and then you have the choice of deducting it, right? So um, so there is another critical thing, and it's do not over contribute, because at that point you're going to get penalized. And the government has very small room of lenience when it comes to this, because they don't want you to uh, I laugh because it's like, you know, you create something, a tool for savings, but then all of a sudden you take that tool away by not saying, oh, but you can't contribute as much as you think you can contribute. So the let's not go into the penalty and analyze this a little bit more. But have you do you understand this? Have you seen this in your life? Have you ever over contributed? Did you ever run into contribution and the deduction question, or have you always listened to what your accountant has said and you moved on? And if you don't have an accountant, because most of the people don't as well, I mean, farmers, as bringing it back to my own experience, farmers, we wear all the hats and we try to understand most of the things that happen. And so it's kind of hard to keep track of all the things that are happening and all the things that you have to do and all the things that you have to uh, oh, thank you. Oh, love your website. Thanks. I just put that up. It's my QR code. But yeah, thank you for the reminder as well. If you want to reach out and get in touch with us, me and Gaurav, I set up a little website. Obviously, it's all on work in progress. We're all leading busy lives, and there's the QR code. You can connect with me on there as well. I try to post the past shows as well to make you understand a little bit what we do. And please leave comments. I like the feedback. I'm just starting here. I'm trying to get my voice out and help out people understanding a little bit more about their financial situations and what happens in life when you follow the knowledge and you gain the knowledge as well. So uh, the unused room. Another fact about RSPs is that you can carry out forward the unused room of contributions that you didn't have the chance to pay. It's important to understand also as well that the contributions, they don't, once you've done your full, what I was trying to say with the previous slide here is that the deduction, you can do it now, but you can also save it for the future. For example, like if you have a lot of uh, if you are deducting and you're coming down that bracket, it's okay to leave the rest for the future year when you are not able to contribute because maybe it was a drier year, and so now you can use the past year deduction. So that's why it's good to have a plan that you can compare and have, and also keep record of your contributions and understanding which year is good and which year is bad. The analogy that I have for that with farming is like on unprofitable years, put away as much as you can. Store it in your silos, right? Store it in your contribution room. And then when it comes to the dry years, you can use that stored power, energy, or grain, or whatever you need, and bring it back up. So it's kind of like it helps you balance out and create that predictability that we talked about earlier on. So that's it for the comparison between contributions and deductions. So just looking at my notes here, RSPs don't save taxes. And that's one of the first things that I don't know if it's a misconception or anything like that, but when I first started and I started my first RSP account because it was just recommended, you know, like you go to the bank, what do I do for what do I do for like for savings and for creating a future for planning? I mean, when I was 20, I wasn't really thinking about retirement. That's like 40 years away. It feels like ages away. So you don't feel like, oh, I got to save up for this. But it was common practice. And it also gave you a little bit of a reward to be saving a little bit of amount of money. And then also because you were deducting that money, you were deferring that cost to a future date. It was nice to get that paycheck back, the refund, right? And then obviously, I don't know about you, but that refund, I never reinvested it or never had the knowledge of how to use it. And then it just ended up in spending it on frivolous things, maybe like buying a bicycle or more stuff that you barely need or ever use, right? Because you're so busy at making money and running a company and all that stuff. So the fact is that RSPs are just a deferral. The government has given you this much room that you can actually defer to a later date. So technically, you're actually just delaying the you're just delaying the payment of the taxes, because on income tax we are bound to pay. You don't want to not pay your income tax, because that's one of the biggest gauges of life, right? So yes. Oh, there's a question here. Does RSPs solely lead defer taxation? That's correct. Yes. If that's a question or if that's a statement, that's what it is. It just only defers the taxes. It's not you're not paying now, you're just deferring it to a later date. In some ways, guess what? The reward is great. It's it's uh, it's good to have that refund check, and it's good not to pay when in the first years of your life, or even as you go through the transitions of life, like starting a family or doing other opportunities and growing. The most energy that you have is in your younger years, right? Once you start getting into the retirement in age 50, your energy levels will lower, so it's good to, sort of defer that tax, because it's going to help you, in later life when you're not as productive, or where you have done, like when you want to do other things in life as well. So you're deferring the taxes. But that's not to say that deferring the taxes is a good thing as well. I want to get you aware that one of the things that people don't know is that taxes have been going up, increasingly up, as the years go by. So back when I first started, paying my dues and paying my taxes, they were at 20%, the maximum bracket when I was making $100,000, right? Now they are at 40% for the same bracket. So that's like 20 years later. And so if you make the plan now, and you accept this as a transitional curve, the same would go that the taxes will go up to 60%, unless the government finds other ways to to tax the people as well, right? And coming from a country like Italy, and one of the reasons my parents escaped, to tell you a little story, it was because of some of it was because of the taxes. I'm laughing about this because you can only make jokes out of things that are actually, like constricting, and obviously they're restraining, and it kind of like erodes your freedom in a sense. And having 200 taxes, like my stepfather, I still remember to this day, he was so fed up. He had like he was like coming home, and he's like, I paid this tax, I paid this tax. We have taxes on the roads, we have taxes on everything. But anyway, short story is like, the government needs the revenue because it's badly managed, and I wish there was better people with better financial knowledge. It's kind of like, if you can reach out to these people and let them know, hey, it's okay not to understand money, but get some knowledge, understand what you're doing. You're running a country. You're not just representing yourself and your pride, your ego. You are actually representing people, the people that voted for you. Wouldn't you want them to live a life of freedom and happiness? Like, that's the basic code of life. And taxation doesn't feel like so much happiness. So the more taxes you put when you're in government, this is a little speech for the politicians out there, or the people that want to get into government. Please, come on. We're all in the same boat here. We live in a world of abundant resources, abundant life. Can we just have, a pleasant, respectful life? That's just my 2 bits for today. Motivation mindset. just to break it up a little bit. So RSPs give you time, not forgiveness. You're not forgiven. Remember this part. Okay, next one. Oh, we have a question here. Thank you so much for commenting. NOA shows limit amount of RSP contribution to date. Yes, your notice of assessment shows the limit of amounts that you can contribute to the date. That's good, and also a great point. Thank you for doing that. Yes, so what you have contributed, it's all recorded, and I don't like. I like this tool, but I also warn people that there is other tools that can help you financially and help you predict your future into your savings. But that's on another note. This is just RXPs explained. The, the other thing that I was talking about is that taxes rates are unknown. Okay, so when you are to retire, taxes, you don't know what your tax rate is going to be. So let's leave it at what it is now and just assume that's what it is going to be in the future. But they usually trend up. Another thing that people are not aware is that when they retire and they had a job or even a farming, I mean, we can still make contribution, and everybody's striving, I think, or I hope, to have a passive income, meaning that when you retire, you have accumulated an asset or you have accumulated enough funds to give you what you need in terms of income for your retirement plans. So these can be like CPP, that's for Canadian watching this. This is our retirement plan that it's created by employers, that it's contributed on both sides. The employer contributes on it, and then the employee contribute as well. And then they grow this fund that in the long run gets benefits, and you can start using the funds to create your income in your later years. So then there's also old age savings, which is your old pension. It's another supplied pension that every citizen of Canada gets. And then obviously there's RSPs. And then there is, hopefully, when you're farming, there's your farm that you can lease out, or you have created a space for rental income to be generated. So that's what it's called, your passive income. So RSPs, you can actually take them out at any time. They will just be, there's no like limit on the age. A lot of people don't know this. And I found out, I will tell you the story, how I found out. Because they don't tell you that you can take them out at 30, you can take them out at 40, but it will just be taxed income, right? So it will be used like your income. So it's kind of like a buffer that helps you on your worst years. And a lot of people right now, they're going through some tough times. Debt has never been so high, and just the industry just seems to be lagging behind because it's hard to get a view of what the future is like. But I mean, there's also like people that I'm being mentored with, and they just tell me, "Oh, we've been through this," and I kind of felt it too. Like it feels like a little bit, but it's different. Obviously, every stage in life is all different. But this stage we're at is just that people don't have the confidence. We came out of a booming economy, everything was accelerated, and now it's just like that confidence has lost. Like, like in buying a house, oh, I don't think that's a good investment. Oh, I feel like these are the questions that I'm getting in on the side of real estate. And I don't know about you, leave in the comment down below what you're feeling, what you're seeing out there. But it's like, oh, I don't think real estate is a good investment anymore. And I'm just like, and or like, should I wait? Is the market going to pick up sometime soon? Of course it's going to pick up. Every time it does. We saw it in 2008. It just went up. Or oh, should I invest in stock? Maybe I should be safe and invest in GIC. Yeah, well, do what it feels right. You know, like you got to sleep at night, right? So it's like it's important for you that you do what is right, you know, and understand that we're just going through. It's just a moment in time, right? And just keep positive. Just keep going. I mean, I'm not saying to stay positive, but just take a good outlook. Real estate is always being a solid investment. It's always as produced. You ask your parents, you ask your grandparents, what was the best investment you made? And they will tell you it's real estate. They are glad that they bought their house. They're glad that they invested in stocks or gold or whatever you are comfortable with. And that is ties back to our quote is knowledge is essential and it's the greatest investment you can do on yourself. So if you are feeling like even like for crypto, you know, I'm not a big fan of crypto. I don't promote it, but maybe you are. And if that's what you feel like it's your safe ground, it's what you know because you've been following it, you're loving it, man, all to you. Share that knowledge too, because that helps other people understand it and not being so scared of it. And so that goes with this tool, you know, with the RSPs. So let's get back to it. And okay, so what this actually means is on the RSP side is that RSPs are fully taxed when you withdraw. Okay, so I want to drive this point home because it's not a savings that you save up and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, I got all this money, right? And one of the things that a lot of people don't see as well, and one of the factors that I'm going to talk about is what happens when you're not taking them all out. But anyways, so they're fully taxable, and the contribution room stacks up, but at the end, when you're 65, it ends. You can't contribute anymore. Okay, so if you have any contribution room left, you won't be able to do it anymore. But you could still use the deduction as well because you can postpone it to a later years. Okay, so it's money in the bin, but it's opening the door costs you. Okay, I see. I see what that analogy was about. I just wrote my notes down, but sometimes you know I'm trying to recall what the note really meant. It's like putting money in the bin and you put in the savings in the piggy bank, but once you crack that piggy bank, you're definitely going to pay for it. You're going to lose the piggy bank, right? So I'm just saying that you just got to be aware of that. Okay, so the withdrawals, yes, I've explained it a little bit and I touched base, but let's repeat it here. They become an income. You'll get the withdrawal of the year that the tax rate is based on the year that you withdraw those funds. And the benefits could be that those are the years where you don't have as much income, or as the name says, it's for retirement when your income has lowered enough not to be able to sustain it, and you still want to live the same lifestyle. I mean, the bills can get a little bit low, your expenses can get a little bit low, but you can sustain your current lifestyle. Um, okay, so there is a core point. Looking at my notes here. There is a technique that I just learned, and I mean I'm new to this, so I never knew you could do this because it's an important point of explaining RSPs. It's the RSPs meltdown. So we were talking about RSPs, and at age 71, the government makes you take these funds out. So it starts off with it's called a forced conversion. you have to convert your RSPs into a RRIF, which is an annual income based. So the funds are still accumulating interest, and you are taking a percentage, like you're paying yourself from your funds. And the government forced you to take out the funds at 71 years of age. And I have encountered this in my life, especially now that the baby boomers are starting to retire, or they've been retiring for a couple of years and they've crossed over the 71-year-old age. And what the dilemma is that a lot of people don't know is that now they have CPP, they have OAS, and now they are forced to take our RSPs. Most of them, I'm kidding you not, they're going over to the 40% marginal tax rate. So now they will, and that will affect your OAS, your old age pension, right? So that creates a loss for people, and it's a shock because now they're paying 40% on what they're paying they were paying before, like saying maybe like 20% or 25, and now they've increased their income because they were forced, and that causes them, a setback, or even like an explanation. And when this happened to people, I was like, what is there a solution? And lately, a couple of weeks ago, Gareth there's a presentation for the team, and I understood like the power of this RSP. It's called RSP Meltdown, and how it works is, you plan for for a year. Usually, it happens between 60 and 65. You plan for the future, so you predict. Um, what your income is going to be. So your CPP is set, right? So you've worked all your life, you contributed, you have a set CPP coming in, right? And you can start taking it out at 60 years of age. Now, with that, that becomes income. So you can have a loan on your RSPs. So meaning that you can take that RSP out as a loan to buy investments to generate interest. Okay. By taking this loan out, you can use you can deduct the payment of the interest from your income. So that reduces your total income, and you can pay lesser taxes. Now, the loan will be paid off at the end from your RSPs, so you don't have to worry about repaying it off. Obviously, you have to set up a monthly payment. Like any banking institution, you will have to pay the loan uh, on a regular basis, on a monthly basis. But at the same time, you're going to be saving the taxes because you're going to be able to deduct the taxes from it's kind of like contributing, but not so much. Okay. But the government wants that loan to be invested in stocks. You can invest it in stocks, you can invest it in GICs, anything that produces interest and grows your investment, you can use it for that. And then on that loan, you can deduct from the taxes. I hope I explained myself properly. I don't have the slide that actually says what it is, but a little bit is displayed here, so that you the plan would be. I mean, obviously every situation is different, but the plan would be to not get your OAS cut because you're not hitting that tax bracket, and also you're lowering the amount of RSPs that then in later years you will have to take out as a forced, contribution. So you are keeping yourself at a lower tax bracket. The main goal is to keep yourself at a lower tax bracket and pay the least amount of taxes, obviously. So if I explained that properly, I'm glad. If I didn't, please reach out. I can leave my phone number. You can call me, and then we can work it together if I didn't explain it all the way to the end. Another thing that is not explained really well from RSPs when somebody signs up is that what happens to the RSPs when you pass away. Okay, so if you have a spouse, the RSPs go straight to your spouse. If you have beneficiaries and you have a will in place, the RSPs will become your final income. They're of course I can. Oh yes, we have another comment. If I email you, could you please send me the slides? They're so well done. Oh, thank you. Um, yes, I will. I can share my email. Or do you have my email? Like, just let me know. I can share it here in the comments. So they're they go into your final expenses, their final year of income. So say you have saved up $200,000 and that goes to your final expenses. The taxes that you will pay, obviously you're gone, but I'm just saying whenever you want to leave a legacy, whenever you want to leave something, you always got to feel what are you leaving it for? Why are you leaving it for? Who do you leaving it for? Right? And that is all explained in the will, but it's like if you are just leaving it to the government, and this show is not about against the government. I'm not against the government. I'm just saying that there's there's better there's better. Sorry about that. Part of the fire department here in Headley. Um, there is better ways to spend all that money. Money is like energy, um, and it's like it's you accumulate it for a purpose, right? You have a why. Why do you go to work? Why do you Why are you a realtor? Why are you a financial advisor? You have a why. You're collecting all this energy and you're helping out people, and you're saving your money and you're putting it away, and then all of a sudden you pass away and that money goes to the government. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to pay taxes when I'm alive or when I'm dead. So it's like I'm just trying to help people understand their powers and their legacy. And if you leave something behind, don't leave it to strangers that have no clue on how to manage money. I mean, maybe you're watching this in the future and the government is way better, just like in Star Trek, that we don't need money anymore because we're so self reliant and it just built a community that there's no money needed. But right now, we do have money, and that is a way money is like collecting energy. So it's like, I just, I don't know where I wanted to go with that. I just wanted to say that leave it for something that is purposeful, like something that you wanted to make an impact. And that's what's your why right now. It should be your why even in death, right? Even in passing away, even into your next life, maybe, purpose, right? So get the knowledge, understand what's going on, understand, collaborate, give me a call, whatever you need. Um, and even if you're watching this in the future and we didn't fix the RSPs or we didn't fix the government, let's get together. Like many minds make easy work and understand for what's coming. Okay. Don't have your email. Okay, let me share it here. My email is my first name, Ricardo, at Ricardo Manazza.com. So you can reach me there. Uh, oh, where did I comment? That comment, did you see that comment out there? I've sent it to YouTube. We're airing on different airways, so I'm not too sure. I'm just using this tool, so I'm just trying to learn here. I posted on YouTube, LinkedIn post info. I think Hello, I'm watching on LinkedIn. Okay. I hope you got my email. There's other ways. Oh, I can put it on a banner. I can create a banner. Here we go. Ricardo at ricardomanazza.com. Scroll. Let's see if it goes. Add banner. Show. There it is. Look at that. There's in the bottom. What a great tool. Oh, I'm recording for people that are watching this and they're intrigued. This is a StreamYard. I feel like it's a great tool. Just a little plug there. They offers so much, and I'm just learning all this, like presentation for slides. Doing your recording. You can record. You can have your live website. Yeah, it's a great tool. I love it. I'm learning it, and knowledge is power. So I hope this is making the show a lot more interactive, and happy to be here. So, okay, yes, let's get into the story. I hope that was clear about RRSPs and what you have and how to use the tool. There's so much more that we can talk about and really understand. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them here or maybe at a later date. And then we can get together and actually I can answer them individually because there's so much to to understand. Even though it's such a simple concept, it's a retirement fund summarized. It's a retirement fund. You're going to be forced to take it out at age 71. That's one of the things that you don't know. Oh, there was another fact that I wanted to talk about because see that this is working. I wanted to talk about that you can also use your RSPs up to 35,000 for a down payment for your first home, right? And that's under the plan. You have to repay them back and consider that addition to your income when you're thinking about putting a deposit down. But that helps you because if you didn't think about saving for a home and you feel like especially at these times where it's a fantastic time to get into real estate, there's so much leverage. There's so many deals out there right now because the people that are wanting to sell, and there's this, like I mean, obviously for myself, I'm in construction, so I can see, good bones. I call good bones is the structure of the house. So that there's a lot of houses that have good bones. Maybe they're outdated because it's people that are retiring and they're downsizing, so they're selling their home. But if you have a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of knowledge in construction, and use YouTube or use other platforms to learn and get those skills in your quiver, you can go so far, and it doesn't have to be like learning about plumbing or anything like that. Just hire those out for sure. But like drywalling or painting and just sprucing it up or understanding cabinets installation, IKEA's got a great program. They make it so easy. The instructions are like easy to follow. You can build your own kitchen in less than a month. And these are the things that you can improve in a home, like getting a cabinet for your bathroom, new cabinets, new paint, improves the value so much. And then you can actually add suites down below. Like in BC, they're making it so easy for creating rental incomes as well. We got up to fourplex now on a single lot property. So you could have four incomes, live in the home, and almost live for free. So don't waste that opportunity to get into real estate. That's so big. And then it's important to know the tools and understand that RSPs help you with that. And also right now, the government of Canada has put another program. It's called the First Home Buyer Savings Account, which act as an RSP, but the growth, it's kind of like a TFSA. So you don't pay taxes on when you are taking it out. But obviously the caveat on that is to pay for down payment for your home. So there's lots of plans to get in there. If you're a first-time buyer and you're not clear, give me a call. This is an open space. I know it's tough because, some of the banks make it a little bit hard to get into the mortgage. The qualifications are still pretty strict, and interest rates are edge higher. But obviously, is you have to plan for the future. And if getting into real estate is your main goal, and I suggest it to be in your main goal, if I was your advisor, um, before you look at any other investment, then explore these plans, because the FHSA and the RRSPs are great storage devices that you can use, right? And you can even supplement your income. So don't worry about the future. Like, you can get in here, get into a home, and stop paying rent. That's that's a huge one. But let's get back to the story of when I used to farm. When I first got into farming, and this goes with knowledge and the quote of the day as well, because knowledge, investing in knowledge is the greatest, is the highest level of interest that you will ever achieve. So when I first started farming, I took off. I had a great company. I was doing renovation. My last renovations was a $160,000 job bathroom that I had, and I was making good money, but I wasn't fulfilled. I was looking for something more. And at my house, I had a huge garden, and I just met my wife. We were having lots of fun in the garden. We were planting all kinds of different things like squashes, corn, and everything like that. And we just saw the garden and was like, wow, this is amazing. I wish we could do this every day, right? And so we just realized that farming was the way to that you could do it every day. And on top of that, you would help other people to have great products and great food. So we made it there, then and there, the decision to go and farm. But where do we go? What do we do? Like, we couldn't farm in the city, and the closer you are to the city, the more expensive the land is, obviously. And so when you look at Vancouver, we were in Vancouver at the time on 48th and Main. So if anybody's there, peace to my homies. But we looked at the geographic, and the further you got away from the city, the lesser the land was. But obviously, it wasn't as fertile or as usable land. So we looked at the Okanagan, and the Okanagan is a beautiful place. At the time, it wasn't really discovered or used, but there was still farming happening there. There was lots of fruit trees and lots of vegetable farming and all that done. And but we found this farm, and it was for sale by owner. And we looked at other places, we compared, and at the end, we're like, okay, well, if we're doing this, we don't know what our income is going to be. We didn't have the predictability. We were new at this. Obviously, when you have a garden and you go and scale it up, it's a lot of different story, right? So we took off and we made the decision. We bought this, at the time was 384,000 for 7.5 acres. At this time, I wish we still had the farm, but anyways, that's a different story. And I'm, I didn't use the program at the time of using this as a down payment, because I already had a down payment, because I sold my home in Vancouver, so I was able to have enough for it. And but as we come along the farm, it happens that we didn't have the knowledge. Now we're like, we got a farm, we had the idea of starting a seed company, and we're just like, what are we doing? How are we going to market this? So we had to learn marketing. We had to learn what places you would sell on farmers market, direct selling, farm sales, all this. So we made a stand outside our farm gates. We made subscriptions to all the farmers market, but we didn't have the income until we had the products. So we had a span of like 8 months, 9 months of no income at all, just expenses, like, paying for the feed, paying for the tractor fuel, paying for everything. We're paying for the truck insurance, everything, all the expenses. So we're like, where can we get this money? And I was like, I went to the bank and I asked, hey, this is my situation. how can I, get out of it temporarily? And guess what? RSPs kind of saved the farm, so to speak. And the clerk there said, hey, you can uh, withdraw from the funds that you have in your RSPs if you're going to put it into a business and invest it. And I was like, yes, I will do that. And to make the story short, that actually helped us out continuing on the farm, and helped us with keeping the farm as well, because I know how it is when you're in the learning curve, and you're trying to make things work, and it's pretty stressful. I mean, and it's tough, and I know all business owners have gone through this, and I'm still going through it because I keep changing careers. But it's always a struggle, and it's always helpful to have somebody there that can help you and mentor you. And we have great tools right now, even with now AI. Is Don't be against it. I understand some people are hard to uptake it, but it's still a tool. It helps you enhance. I mean, this show wouldn't be possible if I didn't have AI. I wouldn't be able to plan and come up with the slides, or come up with ideas as well on what to say. So another plug here is, don't be afraid of the tools that you have at disposal, and share as much as you can. Everything that you know is not just for you, is to share. Knowledge is caring. So if you spread that knowledge and you share it with someone else, like if you learn something from this show, share it with somebody, repeat it, teach it. That's, for me, that's the way I see this show for myself, is like it ingrains the idea. And that's why I kind of want to engage comments and questions, because it helps me to learn and understand it better, so that I can help more people in the future as well. So, and thank you for being here at the beginning of this. I mean, even though we're 18 shows in, and I hope this knowledge has helped you, um, for your future, for your present, for anything, to give you purpose, and to understand what we're doing here together, what we're trying to build, as the human race, as mankind. You know, let's give ourselves a purpose. We have a purpose. We all do, and I want to know yours. What drives you? What makes you get up in the morning, be so active? Uh, just reviewing a comment here. Oh, very clear indeed, Ricardo. Some things I did not know. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, it's not more like being misled. I understand that it feels like being misled, but most of the time is like, uh, it's that not knowing, right? It's just, we live lives and we're conditioned. Oh, this is how you do it. This is how your parents did it. This is how you saw it. There's no other ways to break out from the mold, except now. I mean, now there's plenty of resources that you can get to, and see and watch. So it's not like the knowledge is not there. It's just, you got to connect with the right people and get in the right rooms, whatever drives you. Write your goals down. Again, this goes back to planning last week. Write your goals down, make them happen. Like, I'm reading my goals every day. It's like, when I was with another financial company, they said it's like going to your mental gym. It's like, if you go to the gym to exercise and build muscles through repetition, same thing with your mental gym. If you have goals and they're clear in your mind and you visualize them every time you do something. Oh, sorry. And you visualize them, it's like a clarity. You know the path. You can see the path. Every time you have an interaction, you're like, oh, I know what I'm having this interaction. And you go there and you fulfill it. So we're coming at the end of the show. I want to thank you again for joining me here now or in the future. Thank you for all your comments today. Thank you for hanging out. I really precious your time. It makes it more purposeful for me. I know it's a selfish way and ego boosting, but it creates me a, a strive to be better, to better myself every day. And I thank you for that because without you, I couldn't be doing this. Thank you for watching any other platform on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or on Facebook. Here's my email today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Um, I hope this helped you out understanding what RSPs are about. And I hope to see you in the next show. Um, I don't know yet what's going to be about, but keep an eye out on my postings. Again, I'm in a learning process. Sorry about all the delays. Apologize for all that. Um, I will leave you with this one question that you can answer in my next show. What's one thing you'll think about differently before your next RRSP decision? And in the next month, that decision will come up. What are you going to do differently? Or are you going to stay the same? Let me know what your decision is. Thanks again for watching. This is Farmers in Finance. I'm Rico, and I'll see you next time on the next show. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a great day, by the way.